Okay, now I've got my piece cut to put in my patch. And what I do on a small patch like this is I actually cut the piece an 1.5 inches bigger all the way around it, and then I trim out the back of it so I've still got the paper on it. That way I don't have to use tape. So what I've got is I've mixed up some 5-minute fast set mud. I always use fast set mud on small patches like this, and I just go around the edges. Make sure I've got it covered all the way around the edges, because that's what the paper is going to actually stick to. I've got my backing inside in the back. A small patch like this, I won't even need to put a screw because it'll keep it from falling in. Just get good coverage all the way around. And you want to be kind of neat, because I don't like to sand, so it makes a mess, so I just always try to be as neat as possible and not have to sand. So I've got that. Now I'm going to put my piece in. Just put it right like that. And then I take my knife and go around the edges. Just like that. If you've got the mud in, it'll stick. And I just want to clean the edges up. Okay, now that we have the mud starting to set up, I want to take a damp sponge and just go around, start feathering any imperfections, high spots in, around the edge. I like to do this rather than sand because it doesn't make any dust and it does a nicer job. There's a fine line. You don't want it to let it set up all the way, but you still want it to be set up enough to where it doesn't actually damage anything. This is just taking off the high spots. Okay, that looks good. Now it's time for texture. Kind of feather it in. I always want to texture a bigger pattern around the edges first. That way it'll blend it in. Okay, now that the texture's dry, I'm going to take my damp sponge and I'm going to knock down any imperfections, and I'm just going to blend in the texture with the rest of the wall. Down a little bit. Now I'm going to paint it. We happen to have some paint left over here from when the room was painted. That's great, because it'll match up perfectly. It'll probably take 2 coats on this because of the raw texture here. Just want to bleed it in. Go around the edges. And there it is. When the paint dries, you won't even know that the hole was there.